Story 1. Help. I, 26F, think my boyfriend, 30M, is exaggerating or faking his illness. Saw someone's post yesterday about navigating life with a partner who has fibromyalgia, and felt inspired to post here. I'm hoping y'all can give me some solid advice. I, 26F, have been with my boyfriend, 30M, for a little under 2 years. In the time we've been together, his chronic pain, which isn't connected to any particular known condition as he refuses to go to the doctor, has gotten worse and worse. It's reached a point where he's almost incapable of doing chores or house projects, is usually too exhausted, in pain to make or agree to plans, and getting him to do anything outside of the house together is like pulling teeth. His objections always revolve around his pain and fatigue. I've never suffered from chronic pain, and thank God, so I'm not one to judge or accuse someone of making it up, since the pain itself is invisible, and my boyfriend looks perfectly healthy. But he's now been unemployed for about 4 months, and I'm starting to question things. I'm starting to feel doubtful for a number of reasons, and the main ones are that he never turns down his friends' invitations to hang out, even when the activity is something physically intense like kayaking, or going hiking, or going to a music festival, and b, he is never too tired, in too much pain to have sex. Over time it's almost made it seem like he's conveniently in an unbearable amount of pain, when he has to do something he isn't all that interested in, i.e., chores. And I'm starting to feel hurt that he just doesn't seem to want to hang out with me outside of what we do lazing around the house. I've never accused him of faking or exaggerating his pain, but I have tried to talk to him about doing more fun stuff together, and it always circles back to his pain, or him accusing me of trying to keep him from spending time with his friends, which I'm not trying to do by any means. I've done a ton of research into autoimmune disorders and other conditions that could be causing his problem, always bringing my findings and suggestions to him, but he just doesn't believe a doctor or any traditional medicine will help him. I'm also bothered because, when we go to family outings, or parties that we're both invited to, it's rare, but it does happen, he will talk anyone who will listen's ear off about how bad his chronic pain is and how frustrating it is to not be able to find a solution. The thing is, he's not actually looking for a solution. He just smokes weed every day and calls that good enough while lamenting and complaining that his body is the way that it is. He also refuses to return to work because of his pain. For additional context, he seems to have really extreme muscle spasms, tightness, particularly in his back. I'm happy to support him through hard times, but the fact that he won't work is getting concerning, and I feel severely stuck. I'm not interested in supporting him financially on a long-standing basis, but at the moment I partially am by covering some of his expenses. If this post makes me a total asshole for questioning the degree of my boyfriend's chronic pain, so be it. I just need help and answers. So, here are my questions. Where do I go from here? Do you think it's possible that my boyfriend is using his pain as a crutch? Should I put some kind of ultimatum in place that will get him medical care? Attention. Your advice is appreciated. TLDR, my 26F boyfriend's 30M chronic pain is highly questionable, and I'm not sure how I can motivate him to get better. I'm worried I may just be getting taken advantage of at this point. Update. I, 26, female, think my boyfriend, 30, male, is exaggerating or faking his illness. Thank you to everyone who responded to my post and was so compassionate and kind. It was incredible to hear from so many people who actively battle chronic pain, illness, and those with loved ones who do. I hope to continue deepening my empathy towards anyone who is struggling with an invisible illness. On to my update. Armed with some fresh perspectives and some fresh frustrations, lol, I talked to my boyfriend and told him that he needs to see a doctor, or I will no longer be able to support him financially and stand by while he remains unemployed and unmotivated to get the help he needs. I also addressed the idea of balancing his energy levels differently so that we're able to share household responsibilities more effectively, spend quality time together, and keep him doing the things he loves with his friends. His response was really bad. He told me that if I'm not willing to step up and clean around the house, something I'm already doing, that there's no use living together, and that my efforts to clean are the bare minimum, and not good enough for his standards anyway. He was also really mad that I haven't taken initiative to take care of yard projects and car repairs. He sat there and spouted off a whole list of things I'm not noticing and cleaning. And, once again, he was focused on this idea that I don't like his friends, am jealous of them, and want him spending less time with them, which isn't true at all. This really stung. He basically brushed over everything I said and focused on my perceived faults. This told me everything I need to know, and I told him I was leaving. He was just mad, not sad or hurt at all. I'm still crying excessively over his whole reaction. I still don't know how real or unreal his chronic pain is, but I guess it doesn't matter anymore. Thank you again, everyone, for your support and kindness. I'm truly at a loss. TLDR, my boyfriend of almost 2 years and I have separated over his inability to address his chronic pain. Story 2. I've gone silent in my marriage to protect myself, but I'm breaking inside. Do I speak up or keep detaching until I disappear? I, female, 33, am emotionally exhausted and don't know what to do anymore. My husband, male, 35, and I have been together for a long time. He's always been emotionally distant, but it's gotten worse. So cold that now I feel like a ghost living in his home. Whenever I try to express hurt, he shuts down or gets angry. I've learned that if I speak up, I lose whatever little peace or connection we have. So I've started swallowing my pain just to survive. Some recent incidents broke something in me. He went on a trip while I was in serious pain from a pus flare-up. I went to the doctor alone and was told my cyst was large and painful. The doctor suggested surgery if it worsens, which scared me. While on a call with him, I was explaining the diagnosis when he cut me off mid-sentence and said, "Okay, I'll talk later." I told him this wasn't okay, but after that, he never called me the whole week. Just sent occasional, "How are you?" text that felt like a formality. I found out more about his trip from his Instagram stories than from him directly. When he returned and I asked why he didn't call, he said, "You were already angry. No point ruining my vacation." I told him that deeply hurt me, and he exploded, called me mentally unstable and said, "I have no emotions for you. Don't expect anything. If this relationship dies, so be it. I won't put any effort into it. You don't deserve to be spoken to normally. Your demands never stop. I can't do this anymore." In a panic, I apologized and promised I wouldn't trouble him again. Later, we were supposed to go on a trip with friends, but I caught the flu. He went alone, which is fine, but didn't call me once in 5 days. Didn't ask if I was at my parents' or home. Just one, "How are you?" text per day because friends asked about me. No real concern. I've been handling everything at home, errands, chores, my health, alone. I haven't demanded anything, just wanted basic emotional presence. But even that seems like too much to ask. I often wonder, am I overthinking? Am I victimizing myself? Should I just stay cheerful around him like he prefers? Every time I brought up an issue, he's gotten angry, and out of fear that he'll leave, or worse, because of days-long silent treatment, I've broken down, apologized, and promised to never bring things up again, just for the normalcy to return. So I've started emotionally detaching. I don't tell him about my day, my plans, or house matters. I mirror his energy. And oddly, he seems more comfortable now. He hasn't noticed the shift. Hasn't asked. Even when his family asked why I seem distant, he said, "Nothing's wrong. I haven't done anything." That shattered me. After everything, he still believes he's done nothing wrong. I thought I could stay this way, quietly detached and still in the marriage. But some days, like today, it just hurts too much. I feel like I can't do this anymore. I'm scared. I feel gutted and tense. I want to know where I stand, because each day I stay distant, it feels like he enjoys the silence while I die quietly inside. I don't want a fight. I just want clarity. How do I bring this up without him getting angry, or dismissing me again? Or should I just keep pretending, keep fading? TLDR, my husband is emotionally distant and gets angry when I bring up hurt, or ask for support. After years of trying, I've gone quiet to protect myself. He doesn't notice or ask why. I feel like I'm slowly disappearing. I want to know where I stand, but I'm scared if I speak up, he'll explode again. Should I speak up one last time, or keep detaching until I can leave? Update. I told him the truth. His response: silence. Yesterday, he sat next to me and asked about my cause. I said I was doing okay, and then he asked why I was being so distant. That's when I told him everything, the whole truth. I told him how dismissing my pain while he was traveling, no calls to check on me, calling me mentally unstable, and outright saying he doesn't want to put in effort were not small things. His response: why do you make such small issues into a big deal? I told him straight up, this is a deal breaker for me. If this is the end of our relationship, so be it, but I will not put up with this disrespect. I made it clear that being left alone to handle everything, with zero concern from him, showed exactly how much he cared. I also told him I don't need him. I've already been doing everything alone. His defense: I don't travel much, and the one time I didn't check in, you made such a big deal out of it. One time. He's been traveling constantly since January, and every single time, he's been emotionally absent. But even if it was just one time, why is ignoring your spouse when she's suffering something to be brushed off? And then, nothing. No argument, no concern, no attempt to have a conversation, just complete quiet. And that's scarier than if he had lashed out, because I know this pattern. It's not him actually processing anything or feeling bad. It's avoidance. It's waiting for me to either break the silence, or feel guilty for making things worse. I know exactly what's happening. He's waiting for me to be the one to take the final step, so he can play the victim, the poor guy whose wife left him. He will never take responsibility, or even acknowledge what he did was wrong. And that silence, it's not guilt, it's control. I spoke to his sister after this conversation. She thinks my mother-in-law should know, but I'm hesitant. If I tell her, she'll likely confront him, and he'll turn his anger on me, accusing me of ruining his reputation. And I know a lot of you have been asking, why haven't I left yet? It's not as easy as it sounds. It's years of being together, Years of me shrinking every time he gets angry so he doesn't leave. I do know what's happening. I do know leaving is inevitable, but I haven't built the guts to take that step yet. I know it's trauma bonding. I know this relationship is harming me, but it's that final step that terrifies me, because deep down, I'm scared of being alone. And even worse, I'm scared of how easily he will move on, as if I never meant anything. Story 3. Husband, 36, male, keeps withholding important info, and I, 37, female, feel manipulated. Am I overreacting? My husband, 36, male, and I, 37, female, have been married a few months, and since I'm of advanced maternal age, we started trying for kids right away. We got lucky and conceived immediately. Besides excessive sickness, things have been going smoothly, until now. We initially agreed not to share the news until after non-invasive testing, telling only a few close friends and family. A friend, who knew, recently overheard my husband's close friend openly discussing my pregnancy at a bar. She told me, and when I confronted my husband, he swore he hadn't told anyone. A few days later, he admitted he had. I forgave him because I get that accidents happen, but why lie? Then came the real issue. We've been house hunting to move closer to his family because his mom promised to watch the baby for the first year. Last week, we found a house, signed a contract, and put down a deposit. After that, my husband casually mentioned that his mom actually told him last week, before we signed, that she can't commit to watching the baby. He didn't tell me because he forgot. I'm beyond furious. I wouldn't have agreed to move an hour away from our current city if I knew we wouldn't have childcare. Now we're locked into buying a house in a small town with few resources. I feel like he intentionally withheld this info to get me on board. He insists he thought I had multiple reasons for moving, but I feel manipulated. Between this and the pregnancy slip, my trust in him has plummeted. Before this, our relationship was solid. Am I overreacting? How do I move forward from here? TL.DR. Husband spilled our pregnancy secret, lied about it, then admitted it later. Worse, he withheld that his mom backed out of watching our baby before we signed a contract on a house near her. I wouldn't have agreed to move if I knew. Now I feel manipulated and don't trust him. What do I do? One commenter responded with this short-term advice. Take the financial hit of the loss of the deposit and renege on the contract. You're not locked in. You can't be forced to go through with the purchase. You just lose your earnest money. It's better to pay a small price now than a much larger price down the road when you're trapped, isolated, and unhappy. Another commenter said, you are not overreacting. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. You can still change your mind about your life on both accounts. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed these Reddit stories for deep sleep. If you did, consider liking the video, or subscribing if you would like to see more.